Howdy, 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 my name is Adachi Sasuke, and welcome back to Let's Read Prequel, or Making a Cat Cry the Adventure. In the last episode, Katia is not good at catching slaughterfish, but it's okay because slaughterfish are just absolutely insane! Also, well, there's not really an also. So, Practical Thoughts wrote, "Wow, Katia, was boiling the well really too hard for you? So instead you do 10,000 things that take all day, including using spells you don't even know. You have one spell, Fireball, and all you had to do was cast it over and over until the water reached the boiling point, with the only hazard being some hot steam. It wouldn't have even been actually boiling to kill the fish. The woman wearing the apron, whose name you still don't know, might have been a really big help to you, but who knows where she is now? Why didn't you finish trying something you actually know something about, that you've done before, like using fire, instead of dropping it immediately and doing everything you know nothing about, like archery, fishing, ice spells, etc.? Yeah, you confess that you probably could have handled that better. Much better. You just had this idea that if you kept trying, maybe you'll be able to pull off something cool and spontaneous that would elegantly solve everything. Maybe pierce both fish with one arrow, or shoot a lightning bolt from your fingertips. Something that would make you feel like kind of a hero, and rather than a wannabe wizard using someone else's magic to slowly boil water. Boop, boop. Ah well, not everyone can be a hero like in the stories, you guess. You make yourself a solemn promise to stick to safer, reliable methods in the future. Kobold wrote, "Congratulations, Katia! You saved the well from being poisoned, and by extension, the entire town. You go, girl!" Though on the bright side, you apparently did keep the well from being poisoned. Not to mention those fish will probably die a slow, painful death from all the metal hooks moving through their digestive tracts. So even if you got nothing out of it, your actions possibly save people in the future from suffering indeterminate amounts of harm. Fuck yeah! You give yourself a celebratory low five. That's adorable. Not the author wrote, there is such a thing as trying too hard. You don't have to, and likely won't, have a solution to every problem. It doesn't mean you shouldn't try, but that doesn't mean you should try to the point of hauling every masonry to build a small castle halfway across town. Or hauling enough masonry. Right then, you guess the job was kind of a bust, and it's time to cut your losses and move on. You probably still got another hour or so before the guild opens. Maybe you'll just wander around town for a while, or buy a snack. Or hell, might even see that vampire so you can at least end the day with enough coin to get Quill's book if you want. You're still excited about visiting the guild tonight, and you know you'll feel better once you actually get there, but this whole slaughterfish ordeal has left you feeling kind of melancholy and bummed out. Here was your first real chance to show everyone in town that you're not just some skillless nobody. Your first real chance to show them you can actually do things when you put your mind to them, and when you tried, you just couldn't. Someone more skilled and intelligent than you, they could probably find some way to take care of those fish. They probably know some trick that'd make it real easy, but you've already tried everything you could think of. Ferd, 1991, wrote, "I'm surprised you haven't taken into consideration climbing down the well while using the rope." Almost everything. You can't swim, don't do that! Don't do that! They'll eat you! They ate buckets! Of course they're going to eat you, you're meat! Tomato License wrote, "Katia, shake the notion out of your head and find something less life-threatening to do. Get a snack and some refreshing, non-poisoned water." You cautiously peer down into the well. It's a long way to the bottom and the water looks deep. You could just walk away. You could just forget about this entirely or tell a guard to handle it. You could, and probably should, play it safe and just go wait outside the Mages Guild until nightfall. After all, it's not like anyone will judge you for giving up on a job that was outside your abilities. But if you could just get a little closer to the water, you and your hatchet could probably make quick work of anything down there. You could get those scales, that meat, maybe even keep the arrows you just paid for. You could stroll into the Mages Guild tonight a bit more confident, having successfully helped Kavash in your own small way. You could still do this. You won't deny your motivations probably stretch a bit deeper than that. Maybe it's all those hours of pussyfooting around and failing to kill those fish, making you all the more determined to get something out of this. Or maybe it's because someone, no matter how crazy she was, honestly thought you could succeed here, showing a faith in you that only Quillweave has ever shared. Or maybe you just have a persistent habit of overestimating yourself as some sort of coping mechanism to help you deal with your blatant ineptitude. All you know for certain is that when you look down that well and think of all the time you've wasted here, you start to wonder, what if you'd have to go a little crazy and everything you do will turn to gold? Jaja wrote, possibly Justice League of America. Or Justice of America, I don't know. First, check the strength of the rope, particularly where it attaches to the pulley at the top of the well. Test it by pulling and leaning on it with as much of your weight as possible. If it feels at all loose or creaky, try to reinforce it before you trust your life to it. Shinwalks wrote, tie that rope into some kind of harness, or tie it firmly to a non-sturdy, or to a sturdy non-slip-out-of-able article of clothing, or somehow ensure that you cannot possibly accidentally lose hold of the rope. You know, stuff about knots. But don't worry, you're gonna play it safe. You don't want a repeat of that whole ruins incident, where you screwed up, almost died, then lost everything of value. Twice. You're gonna make sure there's no way this can backfire disastrously. You know knots, more about them than you care to admit, and this rope seems sturdy enough to hold your weight. Also, you used to climb all the time back when you were younger. The stonework out here in Cyrodiil is smoother than what you're used to, but there's still nothing to worry about. You know what you're doing. Zron wrote, or ex-Ron, they must be a member of the Organization 13. Katia abseiled down the well instead of climb. The Imperial Dictionary of Tamrielic. Holy shit, that's way better than your idea. You adjust your plan accordingly. Yep, totally know what you're doing. Also, you let Hurdle know that you're going to dive down a well and kill some fish in melee combat and tell him to maybe come check on you in a little while? Make sure you're not drowning? Sure, whatever, he replies, have fun. Baka Grappler wrote, you can do this, Katia, just as long as you take a few precautions to make sure you don't fall into the well water. Tie the very end of the rope securely around your waist. That way you'll have a lifeline attached if you should lose your grip at any point. Jaja wrote, you'll need as much freedom of movement as you can get, so you'll probably want to leave your outer robes and pouch topside. This will also keep them dry and neat for your Mage's Guild appointment tonight. You're on a tight time limit here, so you rush back to the well, strip down to your slip dress, and stash your valuables in a nearby crate. You quickly review your plan. Get down there, deliver some quick swipes until they die from blood loss, scoop up the bodies, and get out. Prove you can do this. Piece of cake, and perfectly safe as long as you stay above the water. Thessalos wrote, you're Katia fucking Manigan, and you're going to prove that you can do something productive even if it kills you in a gruesome and bloody manner. There she go. Meanwhile, oh, don't you dare. Oh, I thought she was about to take Katia's stuff. You are now the perfectly normal human female. And boy, do you smell something delicious. It's January, it has been just over 7 years since this page happened. What's her name? Karn Warrior wrote, enter name. Nah. Snowman wrote, retrieve fangs. What fangs? An ordinary human such as yourself doesn't have fangs. Really? The very thought of such a thing is preposterous, offensive, and utterly unsubstantiated. Wimble wrote, go investigate the site of the delicious scent. You'd love to check out that rich, bloody scent that popped up all of a sudden. But you're playing a game called Don't Leave the Tree's Shadow. You love this game so much that you're going to keep playing until nightfall. The rules say you're not allowed to leave the tree's shadow until you've recently drunk something red, such as red herring juice or even blood. And since you don't see any red herring juice around here, you guess you gotta drink some blood. You spot a kitten full of blood running across the lawn a short distance away. You quickly grab some grape jelly out of your grocery bag and attempt to lure the creature towards you. It glances at you briefly, then turns and keeps walking. Which is weird since cats love jelly. At least you're pretty sure that's cats you're thinking of. Nah, drink a potion. Grutor wrote, drink 100% fire resist potion. Go investigate smell. Potion? Potion? Let me tell you a little something about potions. Potions are bullshit, overpriced waste of space pushed by those filthy goddamn alchemists. People these days will chug a potion for every little scrape, bruise, or potential burn. With all these potions, you bet the average person doesn't even know how to tie a bandage anymore. You bet they don't even care. Thanks to the potion industry, people don't even know what it's like to be a real medic. They've never known that joy, that thrill of saving a tent full of unconscious, bleeding soldiers using nothing but a roll of gauze and a bottle of whiskey, that excitement of running out of antidote potions and having to cut a vein and suck the poison out, that alluring exhilaration of wiping the copious blood from a grievous wound while closing it using only a rusty needle and a spool of thread. The very thought makes you salivate, with approval. But no, these days it's all potions and magic. Potions and magics. They've forgotten all about the finest art. Sure, you might have gotten forcibly discharged from several armies for drinking on the job, but you've always been passionate about your field. Someday people will remember your glorious discipline. Someday war will once again ravage the countryside, and there simply won't be enough potions or magicka to go around. Blood will flow like honey, and the alchemists and healers will be overwhelmed. Men and Myrrh alike will be once again forced to solve problems the right way. Retroactively, with a blood-soaked apron and a pair of pliers. It'll be beautiful. It will be the 3rd century all over again. Not that an ordinary human like you remembers the 3rd century. Khan Warrior wrote, contemplate selling vampire dust to alchemists for a vial of blood. You think you've already made your feelings about alchemists fairly clear, but you will reluctantly admit that you currently have a certain arrangement with Sigrid. But that's Sigrid! And it's something of a necessity. Ever since Kavach's last beggar died, there's been no humans willing to let you lick corn paste off their neck. This inability to satisfy your strange fetish has led to quite a few impromptu games of Don't Leave the Shadow. For than LDR wrote, is it possible to at least cover your head with your bag? Evil Argonian wrote, nah, attempt to climb a tree to stay in the shadow but have a higher vantage point to see the smell source. You're curious about the tasty smell, but you don't care that much. You'd rather not dump your groceries all over the ground or go clambering up any trees. Whatever the smell is, you're sure it can wait? At this point, you only got like an hour left before nightfall, so you figure you'll just chillax, maybe catch up on some reading. Wounded Kneecap wrote, nah, wait. She sure is doing that. Oh, it's nighttime now. Just gonna finish this page. Alright, coast seems clear. You put away your ordinary copy of the Black Horse Courier and follow your nose. The odor's not as strong as it was before, but it's definitely still there. Let's see where it takes you. Well, something happened here. Investigate the crime scene. Ayare wrote, nah, search the crates around the corpse well. Gnagi wrote, what's this? The well is broken. It appears some scoundrel's trying to tear down Kavach. This will never do. You should inform Sigrid immediately and she'll make sure the ruffian responsible is made to pay for their blatant vandalism. Talon of the Truth wrote, detective mode, look for clues. We need to find out who, what, when, or why, and how. Also, at what point should we call the guards? Boop. That shows a lot of shit you don't care about. Look, you're just trying to figure out where the blood smell's coming from. You'll leave that serious investigating to the guards who get paid to do boring stuff like that. Flazé wrote, jump down the well, find out what happened. You'd have to be a particularly rare breed of dumbass to actually jump down into a 20-foot deep well. Being a genius, you settle for the much more reasonable option of just looking into, hey, looks like some dumbass actually did jump down there. Noticing you, she begins babbling out a desperate plea for help. You usually try not to get involved in people's personal problems, but vast quantities of fresh blood inform you that this girl is not only the source of the smell, but most definitely in need of medical attention. Specifically, your unique brand of ulterior motive-free medical attention. You ask what kind of help she needs. She specifies that she's looking for a pull-me-out-of-the-well kind. You ask if she's got a good grip. Holy crap. She calls back that most of the rope is slippery with blood, but she thinks she can hold on. I've got a dry spot I'm holding on to now. Just pull me up Normal human strength. Yeet! Or that works too. You ask dumbass McWell Diver if she's alright. It's fine, she replies. I'm just kind of dizzy. I really have to get to the Mages Guild, though. Something big happened while I was down there, and... Oh, it's you. Please don't drink my blood. You laugh heartily at the notion. Drink your blood. Don't be ridiculous. Humans don't drink blood. The very suggestion renders me sick to my feeble human stomach. Continuing along this line of inquiry might cause me to vomit up my lunch, which presumably consists of corn and water. I'm sorry. I didn't... I mean, I just figured you... Now, look at you, poor baby. Let's get that wound cleaned up. Like any decent professional, you proceed to inquire about the patient's status. That is to say, you ask her what the hell happened. Oh man, I was hoping you'd ask. I gotta tell someone all about this. Dumbass McWell Diver twitters excitedly. Okay, so at first, I was all about getting these fish out of the well, right? Like, I guess sometimes I do this dumb thing where I fail a whole bunch, start monologuing to myself, and then go off on some stupid plan to try and make everything better, and this time I apparently decided I was gonna climb down the well, which in retrospect wasn't a very good idea, I think, but I left my amulet and stuff up here so I wouldn't drop it, right? And anyway, the dictionary of this picture has something called abseiling, which I tried to... Whoa, there's an elf down the street who will gladly listen to your life story for 30 drakes an hour. I just want to know how a fish got your eye. Katia wrote, use the eye of fear. Don't be scared of the slaughter fish. You can't have slaughter without laughter. Don't laugh. Delicious wrote, once you're close to the door, use your eye of fear. On second thought, use your eye of fear on the fish. This actually had nothing to do with the fish. I kind of forgot I already did my eye of fear thing once today, and when I tried to use it on the fish... Yeah, it'll get better. It's not important. No, what's important is what happened after. The eye hanging upside down, bleeding for an hour, failing to get some stupid fish out of a bowl. None of it even matters because the best thing happened while I was down there. Nah, I failed to care. I wrote, continue to not give a shit about her life story unless it somehow ends up being incredibly interesting. After a couple minutes, dumbass McWell Driver embraced the science. You do want me to elaborate, right, on the best thing? You explain that you're not particularly interested, but she insists it's the neatest thing ever and you won't be disappointed. Okay, so I was stuck down there for a while, right? And at first I was really scared, but then to make myself feel a little better, I started using the time to experiment. Like to do think about different things, see if I could produce any magical effects. For the most part, none of it worked, but it kept me busy, so I didn't care. But then on a whim, I decided to retry one of my old ideas, and I noticed something subtle that I missed back when I tried it above ground. Watch this. Squiggles wrote, well, now that we have you in a nice area where you can't miss or harm anybody, let us begin Operation Horrible Pun Death Strike. You can't tell me it doesn't affect you, my dear Katia. I saw the amulet flash back in Anvil. It's doing something. Not gonna... I mean, I'm not fishing for trouble. You're very dear to us after Owl. I just noticed you barely hang in here, so I'd really like to lend you a hand. First off, it's a well, so it'll be flippery. Hold on, Tiger, because we don't want you to fall in. That would be an utter disaster and not very funny. Tuck your tail in a little closer. It can totally be bit off. Atter girl. I think we must be shrewd when dealing with the fish. Things can become harrowing quick. I know you think I'm just badgering you, but you go to see I'm not a total loon. I'm trying to kelp you. Did you see? She squeals. You made a little fire? That was an accident. I mean, right before that. I'm not entirely sure how, but I think I knocked it over. I pushed it over with my mind. That's pretty cool, right? Sure, kid. Everyone will gather around and be completely awestruck at your ability to magically push things over. She rolls her eyes at your sarcasm. Pfft, I guess I can't expect a plebeian like you to appreciate awesome wizard stuff. But still, a second spell. It's not much, but if I can do it on command, that should be enough for me to actually join the Mage's Guild. I mean, assuming I can pass the physical strength requirement this time, but I did get some pretty good arm exercise climbing down into the well, and if that's still not enough, maybe I can sneakily use my new spell to constantly knock up whatever they ask me to lift. I mean, knock up in the sense that I'm literally knocking it upward, yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud, she says timidly as she gets to her feet. Her knees are a little bit shaky, but you've got her bandaged, so she should heal quick and refill quickly. I'm just kind of excited. What I mean to say is, well, I guess I kind of owe you a lot, you know, for helping make this my best day ever rather than my last day. So, thanks, I guess. Thanks for saving me. And you ask with anticipation, for licking me clean like a cat, and for wrapping me up in spongy tape for some reason? Vini Vici, be that kitten full of blood from earlier on. You are now Katia Mannigan again. That vampire sure was weird, but whatever. You guess this stuff will keep your blood in until you can find the healing potion. Kenny1550 wrote, Katia, hopefully this should teach you a lesson about questionable heroics that are potentially hazardous to your well-being. Let's never do that again, okay? Like, never. We're supposed to do stuff for Quill and not get ourselves killed. Besides, because getting ourselves killed would be bad. Very bad. Yeah, don't worry. You don't need dumb heroics anymore. Once you get accepted into the guild, you'll have a place to stay and food to eat and people who accept you and nothing to worry about. You'll finish Chloe's job, learn a bunch of spells, and never disappoint anyone ever again. Things are gonna be great. Things are finally gonna be great. Do I want to stop here, where she's all, things are finally gonna be great? Or should I continue? Because it's been 18 minutes. But that feels like a good stopping point. So I think I want to stop this episode here, because it just, that last sentence feels like a good cliffhanger, you know? So, this has been Anachi Sasuke. This was episode something of Let's Read Prequel. In the next episode, we're going to find out what's happening underneath this gift right here. If you liked it, a like and subscribe will be groovy. If you didn't, you only do either one of those things, and I will see y'all in the next one. Later.